Hi and welcome to another edition of OnSide SA, where we're getting down to nitty-gritties with last one standing. We'll be talking to Stevie B in the UK. And Budge, last one standing, down to 27. It's dropped very quickly this time.
3 weeks, Paul.
3 weeks, can you believe it, eh?
Well, the average is normally 7 weeks. Just that our guys have actually done quite well to extend it beyond that. But this will be a tough one, Paul.
Yeah, I can see that. Just 27 left, 2 for Jared Werners and 2 for Kevin Rice.
They both come through this morning.
Both clients of mine?
Yep.
Yeah.
So they've given me their confident selections.
Have they given you their selections? Yeah. And tote favourite, you got Richard Pillay. Is that because of the teams he's
selected?
Yeah,
the teams he's used. Yeah, he's still got Man City, Liverpool, the bigger teams. So at the moment...
Richard Pillay, the boy, but I just want you to know that I'm still in.
You're still in, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in, going strong. Last one standing. Well, that's interesting. Make sure you get your bets in on time. We see who's going to win it. I see one of our winners is going to London.
Yeah, Hilton's going to the Quipco Challenge and then the Champions League going to watch Spurs.
Yeah. All right, let's chat with Stevie. Stevie should be on the line. Stevie, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Hello, Steve. Morning, Steve. Nice to hear from you. I know Budge has put some show topics out here. Now, the international reviews.
Sure.
Budge, what were you saying about that?
Yeah, Steve, I watched the Friday game, Germany and Holland, and I fancied the Germans. But they were really disappointing. Without Leroy Sané, they're not a team's backside,
No, I was. I mean, I thought they started okay, but to be fair, second half, Holland were by far the better team. And it's interesting to see Ryan Babel, still playing so well after his stint at Fulham. But, they won well again a few nights ago. Scored a hatful of goals, and he got 2. No, they look strong, Holland. They've got a good, exciting sort of mixture of youth and experience there.
Yeah, would you say Holland and Belgium the top 2 teams in Europe at the moment?
Well, I mean, Holland did lose one of their qualifiers already. I mean, Belgium certainly. I mean, I saw the first half of the game against Scotland, and they absolutely just destroyed them. I mean, when you look at that Belgian team, they've got so much quality. I mean, the last few tournaments we've been expecting to do well. Obviously, they did pretty well in the World Cup, but, just fell, almost at the last hurdle. But actually, you just think that they're going to be definitely one of the favourites next summer.
Yeah, they never had Eden Hazard as well. England, Kosovo, a disappointing game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a crazy game. I mean, the bottom line is Kosovo came. To be fair to them, they had a go, and but the lessons are so open. I mean, 5-1 in the first half. England should have gone on and romped and scored sort of a hatful, but they made hard work of it and gave away some sloppy goals. The defending has been poor, and I think that's. I think England just need to be. Southgate is under no illusions that winning all these games by 4 and 5 against weaker opposition when they come up against good teams. Our defence is really not up to it at the moment.
Yeah, the other 4 or 5 nations teams, I had bets on them and I watched a lot of them. Really disappointing in Wales. Bar Gareth Bale, they haven't got much. Scotland are terrible, and Republic of Ireland have a go, but when you have a look at the team sheet, they haven't got much to pick from.
No, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, in years gone by, the Republic have had some very strong sides. Yeah, they're doing okay in their group. That's a very tight group. And Northern Ireland, to be fair to them, obviously they started off with 4 wins in a row, but they were played well in the first half against Germany, but were soundly beaten in the end. But actually, and that's a tough group. I can't see. Obviously, they're not going to finish above Germany or Holland, but whether or not they come through as one of our highest third places and get themselves into a playoff, they've got a chance. And again, they do it with very limited resources. But Scotland are pretty much out. I think mathematically, if they don't win the next game, they probably are out. But they're never going to finish anywhere near Belgium or Russia.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, talking of outs, I see Watford fired Javi Gracia last week.
Yeah, I think there was sort of lots of talk about that after the poor start. And the truth is, the Pozzo family who own Watford have shown since they've owned the club that they had no hesitation in firing a manager if they don't feel that the results are going their way. And I think they just don't seem to care about the publicity and the backlash that it gets. And my brother's a long-suffering Watford fan, and he just said, well, look, they almost expected it because he finished last season. I know they got to the cup final, but they had a poor run.
Terrible, yeah, they did, yeah.
Humiliated in the cup final and a very poor start. And as far as the Potter family are concerned, the Holy Grail is staying in the Premier League, and they'll do whatever it takes. The fact they've gone back to Kike Flores is interesting. He only lasted a year. He took over from Jokanovic lasted a year. Did okay himself. Finished mid-table, and he still went. So I think I think Garcia though was the first manager that they'd actually given
an extension
contract to. They gave him a sort of a new added another 4 years on, or gave him a new contract last year after they started well. So if nothing else, it'll leave with a decent payout.
Yeah.
But he's done well, and I think that lots of fans will be disappointed because I think they did enjoy the style of play earlier in last season. But they just, as they seem to do, they just seem to fall away at the end of this season. So
yeah, shame because I agree. He looked a decent guy. Now see the two Yorkshire managers. Yeah. Gary Monk's gone to Sheffield Wednesday, and Danny Cowley to Huddersfield.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I wouldn't have. That one sort of came definitely a bit of a surprise. So obviously Danny Cowley and his brother, because they sort of come as a pair, and they've done exceptionally well at Lincoln. They obviously brought them, up to the conference. Not just that they brought them up from the conference, but they had that amazing cup run as well, and that really, I think, brought them to everyone's attention, and they play some good football. So I think it's a bit of a gamble, but you can understand why they've gone to Huddersfield. Obviously, they've still got some, hello from the Premier League, and I think they feel that, obviously they've got the money there to rebuild. Feel sorry for Lincoln because obviously they've done very well there and they've got them to a point, but I think maybe they realise that they need to, their aspirations are such, they want to go to a bigger club. Gary Monk, well, he's doing the rounds, isn't he, of championship clubs. Obviously did well at Swansea to start with, and when they're in the Premier League, and has sort of been Leeds, Birmingham, Middlesbrough. He knows the Championship well. That's probably a good fit for Wednesday, I think, at the moment. So I think that he'll do okay. I'm not sure Wednesday necessarily will get to the playoffs, but I think they're not going to be far short.
Yeah. Steve, on to the Premiership. Big game on the weekend, Man United, Leicester. How do you see that going?
Yeah. Well, I think United have to get back to winning ways, but that's a tough game. Leicester, as we've seen, confounded the critics a little bit and played very well. Unlucky at Chelsea, deserved win at Sheffield United. I think that's going to be a very, very close game. I think United, obviously they've got quite a few players who've been out on international leave, as of Leicester. So it really depends who comes back, the sharper. As I say, I think it's going to be a close game. It wouldn't surprise me if Leicester hold them, but United's got to find a way to convert the chances into goals.
Yeah, I agree. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace. I'm sure this will keep Paul happy. You see Spurs getting back if they start Eriksen?
Can't lose.
Well, I think this is... Well, listen, they say can't lose, but Palace, as we know, have got one of the behind Liverpool and Man City got the best away record in 2019.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
They just seem it playing away suits their style. I think it'll be a very tight game, but I think Tottenham, again, depends if they get all their players back. Hopefully, the whole Eriksen situation has settled down for the next few months. I think Tottenham, it was Palace's first game back at the new stadium and they beat them. I think if Tottenham have got their players, most of them available from international break, I think they might just edge that.
Okay, another game I think will be a close game is Wolves versus Chelsea. How do you see that one going, Steve?
Yes, I do.
Steve, just before you go on, Stevie, can you hear me? Getting back to my beloved Spurs. We signed 4 people in the summer transfer window.
Yeah.
And they are Tanguy Ndombele, injured. Giovanni Lo Celso, injured. Ryan Sessegnon, injured. What's his name? Jack Clark, loaned to Leeds.
Yeah.
We're in the same position as we were last year.
Well, yeah. Although you've still got Eriksen, thankfully, at the moment. Otherwise, you really would be light. So, I think you're right. I think that, but the team last year was good enough, should be good enough to beat Crystal Palace. I think that's the point, isn't it? They're not. The team of last year is not going to challenge Liverpool or Man City.
Yeah.
So they've strengthened marginally, but I don't. They're still not going to. They're not going to challenge the top 2.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Wolves, Chelsea, Steve.
But Yeah, I think that's going to be a very close game. I mean, Chelsea have shown. I mean, they seem to be playing in fits and spurts. I mean, against Leicester in the first half, quite a bit of the game against Norwich, against Sheffield United in the first half, they played well, but then they're making mistakes. Wolves, as we know, are very, very strong at home. I've got a feeling Chelsea might just hold them. So I think you're probably looking at a draw there.
Okay, Bournemouth-Everton on Sunday. Plenty of goals?
I think they could be. Everton, I've been sort of impressed with Everton. I think that they could. I think they'll have a strong season. Thought they played well in the last time out. I can't see Bournemouth beating them. I mean, but you don't know with Bournemouth. I mean, they do throw men and players forward. Depends if they've got one or two out injured still.
Yeah.
If Everton are pretty much at full strength, I can see Everton at least getting a draw there.
Okay, and the Monday night game, Aston Villa at home to West Ham?
Yeah, well, again, Villa need to get back to winning ways. Obviously, they won that one and lost 3. West Ham are good away from home. I mean, apart from their opening day thrashing by City, they played well. Yeah. Could have won at Brighton, did win at Watford, won easily against Norwich. I think this could be another game that West Ham could at least hold Aston Villa.
All right, Steve, on to the Championship where our hopes are pinned. Friday night's game should be fairly interesting between Derby and Cardiff City.
Be in the box?
Be on the box,
I think it will be. I mean, it's on the TV. Obviously, I've got sort of Cardiff last time out against Fulham. You know what you're going to get with them. It's pretty Route 1 stuff. Derby have been disappointing. They start their first game and they played away. I thought they looked really good. Since then, they've been sort of fairly average. I think that they might be too strong on the night for Cardiff, though.
All right. Now, your big game Saturday, Fulham, West Brom.
Yeah, it is a big game, and the lunchtime kickoff for us. We're hoping that our key players, who someone like Mitrovic has scored 3 goals during the week for Serbia, it comes back. Sort of hungry. We'll be without Harry Arter. He's got 2 yellow cards at Cardiff, so I think they'll probably play Harrison Reed in his place. Again, West Brom are a good side away from home. I watched them on their opening game and they were superb. I think this will be a very tight game. I think we really do need to get back to winning ways after sort of drawing and losing one. So, I'm going to plump for a home win, but I could see a draw.
All right. Now, what about my boys Preston at home to Brentford?
Yeah, no, that's going to be a really good game. I mean, again, Preston have started well. Brentford are a hard team to beat, as we know. You're not quite sure what you're going to get with Brentford. Yeah. And I was very surprised last time out they lost. I might plump for a home win. I think if they can, hit the ground running, I think Preston could get amongst them. And I think that losing their sort of key striker Neil Maupay, I think without replacing him, I think Brentford are not going to find it quite as easy to score this season.
Yeah. Now, the team that's top of the league, Swansea City at home to Notts Forest. You saw Notts Forest when they beat Fulham. Yeah, how do you see that game?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I think Swansea have really surprised me. I wasn't expecting them to, especially after sort of selling, Daniel James and Ollie McBurney. And they weathered the storm at Leeds and caught them cold with a late goal. Yeah. Forest defended very resolutely, and it really depends. If they play like that at Swansea, I think it's going to be close. But Swansea, I think they are the surprise team this season. I wouldn't be surprised if they win that.
Okay, and last but not least, Steve, Charlton, who are unbelievably a second, at home to Birmingham City.
I think they really have surprised everybody. I mean, they've come up, they've hardly spent, they've had no money to spend, but Lee Bay has really got them sort of working hard as a unit. And every time I look at their fixtures, think, they might slip up. They haven't. Yeah. And Birmingham, really away from home just don't travel very well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Charlton win that one.
Okay, Steve.
Stevie, I want to ask you a question. If
sure.
And I wouldn't know the answer to it, but you might have a clue. How many Harrys are there playing in the top flight? You got Harry Kane, Harry Winks, Harry Maguire, they all play for England. Then you got Harry Arter, who's down with your mugs. Who else is a Harry?
Down with us, yeah.
Who else is that? Do you know many Harrys? If your name's Harry, you're going to play for England.
I don't.
Well, Prince Harry, obviously.
Almost, as we know, for as there was, famous sort of Shakespeare, for King Harry and England.
Oh,
So,
Harry Gregg was the man.
maybe
United
it's-
Busby Babes, wasn't he? The air crash.
So you want to do well. Call your son Harry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna play for England. Well, Stevie.
So last man standing, which I'm not in, but I think that I think that number. If Liverpool don't win, that number could be depleted, because I imagine anybody who hasn't had Liverpool might want to put their money on them, because I suspect of all the matches, that's the banker, isn't it, this week?
Yeah,
All right,
Stevie.
so,
Stevie, I shouldn't be doing this. With your track record in the last one standing, but I'm still in, and I've used the big guns because I wanted to stay in.
I don't think you've used Liverpool yet, have you?
You have.
Has Paul used Liverpool?
Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I
Oh,
think,
okay,
yeah.
all right. Well, he's maybe.
Who
picked
do you
Tottenham.
suggest for me? So if I do go out, I can blame someone. Who do you suggest, Steve?
Tell him to
Thank you,
pick-
thank you,
You
Steve.
could go.
Take Tottenham.
You could make exactly. You could go for your team, but you know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Or you could make Budge's day and go for United.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could make Budgie's day.
Yeah.
They're high on my list, so I might be going for them. But Steve, as usual, thanks very much, and let's hope the England
Pleasure.
cricketers play better today.
Yeah. All right, Steve.
Well,
keep well.
say
Speak
that
soon.
The pressure's off. So they can
Pressure's
enjoy
off.
it. Talk
Draw,
next week.
draw the
Bye.
series.
Bye.
Cheers, Steve. Bye now.
Bye.
Okie dokie. That's with Steve overseas, and an absolute font of information, isn't
Yeah.
he? Good man.
Oh, man, yeah.
All right, let's go and have a look at the Premier League. They're putting them up there. Liverpool, they've got to beat Newcastle.
Well, won the
at home.
last 13 league games, explored all the avenues. Over 3.5 goals is 12-10. The only other way, if you wanted to have a bet, they're like 8-10, 6-10, and 9-10. You could take 2 or 3 of Mane, Salah, Firmino. 3-1 Salah the first goal. I always used to like backing Milner to score because he took the penalties.
Yeah.
But
No, he doesn't
Salah
start all
takes
the
them
time.
now. But
Yeah, Salah, yeah.
over 3.5 goals, Paul. That's the only thing at a price.
I think
12-10.
even though Newcastle came into town and beat Spurs on their
Yeah.
parking the bus, they're going to park the bus.
Yeah.
It's going to be Dua, but I think 1-2 goals for Liverpool. They could run
Yeah,
a
I think it'll
riot.
be
Yeah.
very
Okay.
easy victory.
Budge, how do you see Brighton
Well,
Burnley?
Brighton played well against Man City. They were well organised, but so
Very
were Burnley.
organised. Do you know, I was interested to see the guy who was doing the commentary as it finished the game said, this is the first team to come to Man City
And have a go, yeah.
and have a go, and they had 47% possession.
Yeah, no, they
That's
played well.
amazing.
Well, they played the 3 centre halves, Paul, and they did try and keep the ball at the back. I was
Yes.
impressed with what I saw.
Me too. I think they're at home.
You
They've got
know,
a beautiful stadium. They've got a chance.
They got a chance. I think a draw's written all over this. You look at Burnley.
Yes.
With what he's got, Sean Dyche has his team well organised.
Those two front boys have
Those
a go.
two boys have a go.
Yeah.
I think it's a draw for me here, Paul. A draw on Burnley. I like Burnley. I've been impressed with what I've seen this year
Yeah.
so far. But it wouldn't surprise me if Brighton won. But Burnley of the two teams,
Would you take 8-10 United at home?
never. Paul, the last 15 league games,
Yes.
how many clean sheets?
None.
One.
Who is that?
Chelsea 4-0, and they hit the bar twice.
Why is that?
Paul, we just...
They talk about Arsenal's shaky defence. They talk about Liverpool's shored it all up buying a keeper and a centre half. And people are on Arsenal's case. Get a defence, get a defence. Do you think Man United fall in that
our
category?
goalkeeper's been tossing him in for ages, Paul.
What do you do?
Well,
He's
I
been-
would
he's
sell
been-
him and get Jan Oblak in.
He's
If
been
you-
player of the club for years.
Yeah, but that's, Paul, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Last year he was throwing them in. Since the World Cup in Russia, where he conceded, I think, 11 goals and 18 shots. I know 5 of them were penalties. He's just gone backwards.
Yeah.
He has been our best player for years, but you can't have a goalkeeper throwing them in, Paul. You saw the Crystal Palace
Do you
one.
know, I watched Rashford play for England. He looks dangerous.
Yeah.
The Martial's injured, eh?
Yeah.
So who's going to play up front?
Well, Lingard, he's also injured. We'll see what happens. But James has been our best player.
Yeah, by a
And
long
what's
way.
ironic, Paul, I've spoken to guys, Solskjaer's not good enough.
Is that
Our
your
three-
opinion or the guy told you?
No, the supporters, cruising. So I said, what do you mean he's not good enough? Our 3 best players for the first month, Daniel James, Oren Wan-Bissaka, and Harry Maguire. Who bought them?
You tell me.
Solskjaer. Now, I looked the other day, Mourinho bought 11 players at Man United.
Yes.
A goalkeeper, Lee Clark, he was reserve keeper because somebody got injured.
You're right.
Diego Dalot, the right back.
Rubbish.
Eric Bailly, centre half.
Never did it.
Lindelof,
Struggling.
struggling. Matic,
Time up.
Fred. Right said Fred, yeah.
Right said Fred,
Pogba.
yeah. Pogba, in and out.
In and out. Alexis Sanchez.
Out.
Mkhitaryan.
Out.
Lukaku.
Out.
And Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He came on a free.
He did well.
So he's been the best that we've had. Now everyone's having a go at Solskjaer. He's bought 3 and they've been our best 3 players.
No, I agree. That's a very valid point.
And I won't go through David Moyes' 2 that he bought, Fellaini and Mata.
No, you didn't.
And the 13th of Van Gaal. 3 goalkeepers, 3 left backs. So everyone's having a go at Solskjaer. He's got to clear. They talk about a swamp.
Yeah.
We're in serious trouble.
Give him more money, he seems to know what he's doing.
And I think Carrick's got to say to who he's involved to. So it's going to take time, Paul. But, I wouldn't take 8 to 10 at the end of the day.
Okay. But Steve's pushing me towards Man United. My last one saying, okay, so you're going to go draw.
7.5 to 10, both teams to score a bet there, Paul.
Okay, let's look at Sheffield United against Southampton.
Paul,
tough game?
Tough game, Paul. Yeah, both well organised. I looked at there was no bookings bet out. It was
Billy Sharp get a run?
No. But, Southampton got the result at Brighton when the guy got sent off.
Yeah.
They fought hard against Man United. We saw the way
They're
the
not a
manager
bad
celebrated.
side.
Well organised. Another game, I think, is a draw. Sheffield United at home have got to get a result.
Yeah.
They've got to go for it. They play the 3 centre-halves, 2 wing-backs. Should be a key game, but if I was having a bet, which I won't be, I'd be going bookings. I think it was even money, over 3.5 bookings.
Bookings, so you're into that side of it. Okay, Spurs are 4 to 10 and they're 9th, and 7 to 1 Crystal Palace and they're 4th.
Well, Crystal Palace last 8 away games, they've won 6.
Ooh, let me stop that.
But they opened the game at White Hart Lane. That was the opening game. They lost 2-0. Spurs always beat them.
I was there.
It's up to Spurs, Paul.
Yeah, I went to that game. It's up to Spurs. Spurs
I wouldn't
always
take
beat
4 to 10, but you've got to fancy
neither
Spurs.
me. Okay, let's look at Wolves, Chelsea. Interesting game. Chelsea have to win this to say, well, we're fighting for the top 4.
Well, Kante's not playing, which is a massive
He's a
loss.
good player, yeah.
You have a look at Wolves' record against the top 6 teams. Outstanding.
Yeah, that's what came and beat Spurs.
Their last 10 home games, they've won 6 and drawn 4.
Yeah.
Liverpool was the only team of the top 6 that went there and beat them last year. I think Wolves in a draw, Paul.
But just talking about Leicester, going back for a moment, they're the ones who've made a killing selling players. Mahrez,
Mahrez,
Drinkwater, Harry Maguire. But what about the boy
Kante? There's been a few
massive money. Bought small, massive. They've been very good in the market.
Yeah, they've caught it right.
They've caught it right. That's probably accurate. Okay. Are you taking 1 to 6 about Man City?
Paul, there's only one bet, and we did it the other day, and he never scored. And I forgot Harry, 18 to 10, Kevin De Bruyne. I watched him against Scotland. Paul, he's a magician.
But he sets them up more than scores.
But against Norwich, he'll be cruising in. And what happened the last game? They were at home to Brighton. Who scored the first goal? Kevin De Bruyne. I forgot to get the bet.
So you think Man City away from home are going to thump Norwich?
Yeah. Norwich have conceded 10 goals in 4 games.
Yeah.
They just can't defend. Well, they have a go, but they're going to get caught. City will have all the ball.
Yeah.
To have a bet.
I like their manager. Plays aggressive football. I like that.
These are the games where he has a go. He's got no right to have a go, but the fans don't expect you to sit and defend at home. He'll try and get on the score sheet, but I think it's a 3-4-0 Man City job.
Okay.
Easy.
Bournemouth.
There's only one thing here, Paul. It's goals.
Bournemouth-Everton.
Bournemouth-Everton. Everton away from home have been woeful. At home, they don't
Last
get
8 home games, Bournemouth's only won 1.
Only won 1,
But they bumped some big teams.
They bumped the big teams. But they always score, Paul.
Yeah.
You watch them against Man City. They gave Man City a game, even though they lost 3-1.
Yes, they did.
Everton away from home have been terrible. They drew at Crystal Palace. They got beat by Aston Villa.
They haven't won. They lost 5 away from home.
So there's goals in this, Paul.
You see, there are people who have bets on stats to say they've got to win away from home soon.
Well,
But I agree with you. It
when you watch them, Paul, they're having a go. They play 3 wide and the guy behind them, Sigurdsson, and they have a full go, Everton, which I like. So there's goals in that game. Bournemouth always score.
Okay, Watford, Arsenal.
I like Arsenal, Paul.
Good
if
side.
You're a Watford, you're a player and Troy Deeney's out and you're having a look around, they're conceding goals for fun. The manager gets fired.
Arsenal Spurs was a good game.
Yeah.
They fought back well. Their front 3 are very good.
They play that front 3 against Watford.
Anybody.
Easy.
Yeah, they're very good. But then who's that guy from Real Madrid who came on second off midfielder?
The Spaniard,
The Spaniard. He's got a touch of class.
Play,
They're good. They just shock you.
He went with the fear factor.
Schalke's not good enough for me.
No, shouldn't be playing.
Shouldn't be playing. And at the back, they're porous.
But so are Watford, Paul, and Watford are struggling to score. So even money Arsenal all day for me.
Even money, eh?
Yeah.
Oof. Aston Villa. West
Well, I
Brom.
went back and forward. I looked at West Ham. West Ham have only lost one of the last 8, and that was to Man City
Good
at
manager.
home.
Pellegrini,
good manager. Aston Villa, it's a game they've got to win, Paul.
Yes.
I think there's goals in this game because Aston Villa have a full go at home. And I like what I saw against Crystal Palace. They got beat 1-0. I thought it was a goal. They fouled the guy for diving, which I thought was
a bit
was harsh. But must win one game for Aston Villa.
So good games this weekend, especially with my last one standing.
Yeah.
Okay, Championship. Always interesting.
Yeah, a couple of games on
You
this
spoke
weekend.
about Derby and Cardiff. Do you agree with Steve?
Yeah, just, Derby first game up, they beat Huddersfield away, and they haven't won since.
Okay.
Cardiff, that Neil Warnock away from
These
home.
teams are tough.
It's tough at home, but away from home they struggled.
Fulham is 6th, West Brom are
Big
4th.
game. I won't be watching the Liverpool game. I'll be watching this.
I'll be watching both.
Fair enough. Yeah, I hope Fulham win for Steve, but
Me too.
West Brom unbeaten in 6. It's a statement game for either team.
If Fulham wins,
Automatic.
it's a magnificent
they're
tick in the
seventh,
box.
yeah.
Eh?
Draw for me there.
The Rovers, Blackburn away
I
down.
like Blackburn, Paul. Millwall have struggled away from home. At home, the games they've won at home, they beat Preston at home and Sheffield Wednesday. Away from home, they're poor. 11-10 Blackburn all day for me.
Charlton second in the league.
Yeah, I just don't know, Paul. Birmingham City,
They've
funny
got
team.
Kirbishley back.
Yeah, Charlton, Lee Boyer, maybe he's playing. 1-4, drawn 2. I like Birmingham. This has got upset written all over it for me.
Okay.
They've got beat by good teams. The recent games, they've played decent teams. So,
And the bottom of the log clash, Hull and Wigan.
Yeah, I like Hull, Paul. Wigan away from home. I think it's 1 in 23 they've won. Hull City
Wow.
got that Jared Bone. They score goals.
He nearly came to Spurs.
Yeah.
Left-footed boy can play.
Yeah,
Chunky little
nice
guy.
player. They're good going forward.
Yeah.
Even money for me, Paul. Even money, Hull City. Yeah.
Middlesbrough, Reading.
Only won one of the last 5. Reading have come right.
Yeah.
Charlie Adam, they've got that Pushkas up front.
18th playing 16th. Eh?
Yeah.
Middlesbrough can't be happy.
Paul, they wanted
They're a
Pulis
big
out.
club,
They
man.
fired a few managers. They've got Jonathan Woodgate struggling for goals.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if Reading gets something from the game. They've got 1-2 drawn one and obviously lost one of the last 4. I like Reading in the draw there, Paul.
Preston from the north end, your
Paul, I
beloved
just
team,
don't
where you
see how
grew
their
up.
betting's right. We've won our 3 home games, and when we beat Stoke, we murdered them. I know we got given 2 goals for nothing. I think 16-10 is a good bet, Paul.
Okay.
Brentford have only had 1 decent performance. They beat Derby 3-0 at home. They're
Incredible
struggling for
result.
goals. Preston score over 2 goals at Deepdale. I think we'll win 16-10 in our bet.
QPR, Luton Town.
Yeah, local derby. Both teams in good form. They both won the last 2. QPR on the draw for me there, Paul. But I
Okay.
think goals is the way to go.
Stoke City are 24th.
Paul, I just cannot believe the betting. Stoke have played 6 league games and got 1 point. Bristol City have come right. Away from home, they haven't been beaten. That it is the betting I checked this morning. It's 8-10 Bristol City win and draw. To me, that looks an absolute certainty. That's the best value bet of the weekend. 5-2 Bristol City.
So you think Stoke are not going to get out of the slump?
Well, yeah, slowly but surely. But, you lose 5 of the last 6. Everyone's screaming about their League Cup performances. They beat a second all the squad team from Leeds on penalties.
Yeah.
So until they win it, Paul, they haven't won all season, Stoke.
But Swansea, top of the league, is a surprise. To me, it is.
Yeah, done well.
And then Notts Forest, 10th.
Paul, their last 11 home games, I didn't believe this stat. They've won 9 and drawn 2, Swansea. And they've played some big teams. Notts Forest went to Fulham and won. They drew 1-1 with Preston, and they're accusing my boys of time wasting once we 1-0 up. Don't be surprised there's an upset there as well. Forest have got a lot of good players.
Yeah. Budge, Huddersfield Town, new manager. Sheffield Wednesday,
new
23rd, Clays 11th.
Paul, how do you call this? Sheffield Wednesday have had better results, but the time that Huddersfield have been on twice, they just haven't scored at times when they should have.
might make an
He's got to
impact.
get I don't know what he's going to do.
Is he the boy from Lincoln?
Yeah, Danny Cowley. I'd say a draw. Both managers won't want to lose their first game.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
22-10 for me.
Okay, Barnsley, Leeds.
Well, local derby, Yorkshire derby.
Leeds going to get
away
promoted?
from home. They've won all 3. Barnsley have struggled. They beat Fulham in the first game and haven't won since. There'll be goals in this, like most local derbies, but it's got to be Leeds.
Okay, let's have a look at PSL fixtures, but they're always very interesting.
Well, the first game's at Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium in Claremont.
Le Mans for Gold Arrows against Amazulu.
I've got a fancy arrows of the 2 team. The times I've watched Amazulu, they can't score
Who's
goals.
boss at Amazulu?
It's Kevin Johnson.
That's right.
I like him, but they sold too many of their better players, so they're struggling. It should be golden arrows, but the bet there is under 2.5 goals.
I can't believe Amazulu are the bottom of the log.
Bottom of the log, yeah. 1 point. They drew with Pirates at home, otherwise they lost the rest.
We're talking about Pirates, they're 10th.
Paul, you know, they haven't won in their last 6 games in all competitions. That includes
Not
the
scored,
CAF Champions League. But they've won the last 6 times they've beat Chipper. You know, Chipper don't score many goals. If Pirates don't win this game, there'll be a riot, Paul.
Yeah.
You know,
Our predictor right was sung by the Kaiser Chiefs.
No, we're in Durban.
The Kaiser Chiefs sung Our predictor right. So does
Gotta be
Budgie.
Pirates, Paul. They've had the break, the international break.
Can we get on Chiefs? Even monkey?
Paul, I think the best better there is 15-10, over 2.5 goals. Chiefs are good to watch.
Yeah.
You know, that Russian up front scores a few goals, and they've opened up Parkers in the midfield. They concede goals as well. Polokwane's their bogey team. The FNB Stadium, Chiefs are top of the league, Paul. They're going well. Got to fancy them, but I like goals as the value bet in that particular game.
4th place, Supersport United.
I think 13-10 Supersport's a good bet. Cape Town City beat Stellenbosch in the only league win, and they shouldn't have beat that because Steve Barker's got Mr. Sitter in injury time. They just don't look like Cape Town City. They score goals, but defensively they're woeful. Supersport are a good team.
Yeah.
I watched them draw with Sundowns in the MTN8 because we backed them to win it. They missed a penalty in injury time against Chiefs, otherwise they'd have beat them. 13-10 Supersport for me there.
The Black Leopards.
You know, funny
Against
game.
Baraka.
Baraka have got a better record away from home than they have at home. I think they've only lost 2 of the last 11 away
That's
from home.
right, yeah.
You know, it's a local derby if you call it 2-hour drive between them, a local derby. A draw in Baraka for me there, Paul.
And then Bloemfontein Celtic, Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch are 15th.
They just can't score goals. You know, I like 13-10 Bloemfontein all day. The only team that's beat them at home in the last few months has been Sundowns. They beat them 2-1.
Oh.
Yeah, I like Bloem Celtic, Paul, 13-10.
All right, Buzz, let's go have a look at those 6s and 10s and 13s.
You know, it's the PSL English one. Now, I've gone the field in the Golden Arrows Amazulu game. I've banked Pirates to finally get off the schneid and beat Chipper United. I've gone the field in the Man United Leicester City game. I've gone Wolves win and draw at home against Chelsea. I've gone Chiefs win and draw at home against Polokwane. And I've banked Supersport United to beat Cape Town City, 2-1-6.
Okay.
The English one, I've gone Burnley, had to side with one of them. I've gone Burnley win and draw at Brighton. I've gone the field in the Man United Leicester game. Likewise, the Sheffield United Southampton clash.
Yeah.
I've banked Tottenham to beat Crystal Palace.
Well played, Budge.
I've gone
Welcome back.
Wolverhampton win and draw at home against Chelsea, and I've banked Man City 2-1-6.
I don't think there's a person around the country who doesn't bank Command City.
Well,
They're such a good team.
You're
All right, how's the 10 looking,
Soccer
Budge?
10, Paul, you know, I've had to narrow. I've gone Golden Arrows win and draw at home against Amazulu. I've banked Orlando Pirates to beat Chipper United. I've gone Burnley win and draw at Brighton. I've gone the field in the Man United Leicester game. Likewise, the Sheffield United Southampton game. On to our second page, I've gone banker Tottenham to beat Crystal Palace. I've gone Wolverhampton win and draw at home against Chelsea. I've gone Kaiser Chiefs win and draw at home against Polokwane City. I've banked Man City to beat Norwich, and I've ended banking Supersport United to beat Cape Town City.
288.
288, yeah.
All right, Budge.
To the soccer 13.
Is anybody catching these?
Well,
Because the results haven't been easy.
I know, we got caught last time with a draw.
Is that right?
Yeah, we banked a team, 12 on the one team, 2-2, and we caught it wrong with a draw. It didn't pay 9,000 Rand. Pity. It wouldn't have paid that much of the favoured one, but still, you know, bus fare.
So it's hard.
It's difficult, Paul.
Right, give it to us, Budge.
Yep, I've gone Man United win and draw at home against Leicester. I've banked Tottenham to beat Crystal Palace. I've gone Wolverhampton Wanderers win and draw at home against Chelsea. Banked Man City to win at Norwich. I've gone Sheffield United win and draw at home against Southampton. I've sided with Burnley to get a good result at Brighton. Swedish Allsvenskan, the next game, 2 out of form teams. I've gone with the home team, Östersunds, win and draw at home against Kalmar. Our second page, I've gone Birmingham City in an upset to get a good result at Charlton. I've banked Blackburn to beat Millwall, Hull City to beat Wigan. I've gone Middlesbrough, win and draw at home against Reading. I've banked my Preston boys to beat Brentford, and I've gone QPR, win and draw in the London Derby at home to
Not
Luton
easy,
Town.
Budge. Not easy. It's very difficult. That 13
really,
is
really
difficult.
tough, yeah.
And do people take massive perms?
Paul, whether you spend 400, 200 or 4,000, you know, there's that one smash that puts you out, and that's the toughest thing of it. Some of those games you just can't see coming.
Yeah.
But that's why, you know, we spend 400, 300 on average. We've been close. We've got 12 about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah. It's not easy.
No, it's
but let's go look at your best bets and your punts.
Yeah, well, we start off in the Premiership. I've gone Premiership quad. I've gone Arsenal to beat Watford. I've gone Burnley and Wolves to win or draw. Burnley at Brighton And I think Wolves won't get beat by Chelsea. And I've gone Kevin De Bruyne 18.5, 19-10 to score any time against Norwich City.
Who takes the peanuts?
No, he has been. But if
Aguero.
Aguero's missed a few, but
yeah, okay.
So, but he'll hopefully get on the score.
Okay, the Championship?
The Championship, yeah, I've gone Blackburn to beat Millwall. I've gone Hull City to beat Wigan. I've gone Preston to beat Brentford. And I've gone over 2.5 goals on the Sunday local derby, Barnsley Leeds United, 3,500 to 200.
Okay.
Onto the PSL, I've gone Bloemfontein Celtic to beat Stellenbosch. I've gone Supersport United to beat Cape Town City. I've gone under 2.5 goals in the Golden Arrows Amazulu, yeah. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Kaizer Chiefs Polokwane City game, 3,700 to 200. Both teams to score sides are Bournemouth Everton, Man United Leicester, Charlton Birmingham City, QPR Luton, and Swansea Nottingham Forest, 2,600 to 200.
Okay.
On to our Spanish. It's a treble this week.
No omelette.
No omelette. Now, I've gone Real Valladolid to beat Osasuna. I've gone Celta Vigo to beat Granada and over 2.5 total goals. And I've gone both teams to score in the Real Sociedad Atletico Madrid game.
Well, let them know Madrid's still a very good team.
They're top of the league, Paul,
Yeah,
but
very good, eh?
good going forward. Defensively, your man Trippier has been exposed the last couple of games.
Played
but,
well for England the other day.
Yeah, he's improved big time.
Yeah, it's national. You can travel a bit, you improve a bit.
They're good to watch. Atletico 260 200.
Collis King?
Now, Collis King 6 on extra. I've gone Arsenal to beat Watford. I've gone Liverpool to beat Newcastle. Man City to beat Norwich. I've gone Hull City to beat Wigan. I've gone Leeds to beat Barnsley, and I've gone Celta Vigo to beat Granada. 14 to 1, 2,800 to 200.
Okay, let's get on the best bet.
Yeah, Paul, I'm heading to Spain for my best bet. I'm going to Celta Vigo. I watched them play. They beat Valencia 1-0 at home, and they went to Sevilla on a Friday night and drew 1-1. It was a cracker of a game. They've got some good players, Iago Aspas, Dennis Suarez. They're a good team, Paul.
Yeah.
Granada have got promoted. They've come up, obviously. Good result last week. They won 3-0 at Espanyol, but I like Celta Vigo and what I've seen, Paul. 9.5 to 10. I think it's...
5 to 2. Your best bet's a big price.
Paul, I just can't believe Bristol City 5 to 2 at Stoke. Stoke are tailed off 1 point from 6 league games. Bristol City are going well.
Yeah.
I was going to put Preston at 16 to 10. I think we'll win at home on what I've seen. But 5 to 2 Bristol City's a totally wrong price, and their away form is decent. So that's what it is, Paul. 5 to 2 Bristol City.
Excellent, Budge. Thanks very much. And don't forget, last one standing, 27 people left. And get your bets into Budge so we can have the bragging rights next time we're up for the show. And until we speak next time, stay on side.